Driving is great, right? You can cruise around feeling the wind in your hair and the sun on your face. It's one of those simple pleasures in life that brings a sense of freedom and joy. Whether you're heading to work, running errands, or just taking a leisurely drive, being behind the wheel can be a wonderful experience. You can listen to your favorite tunes, sing along at the top of your lungs, and go wherever you want. The open road is yours to explore, and the possibilities are endless. But sometimes things happen that can put a damper on your driving experience, like getting a flat tire. It's one of those unexpected events that can turn a great day into a frustrating one in an instant. You're driving along, everything is going smoothly, and then suddenly, you hear that dreaded thump, thump, thump. You pull over to the side of the road and see it, a flat tire. It's not fun, but it's part of being a car owner. Every driver will likely face this situation at some point. It's a rite of passage in a way. But the good news is, it's not the end of the world. With a little knowledge and preparation, you can handle it with confidence and get back on the road in no time. The good news is, changing a tire is easier than you think. It might seem daunting at first, especially if you've never done it before. But with the right guidance, you'll see that it's a straightforward process, and once you've done it, you'll feel a great sense of accomplishment. Don't worry, I'm here to help. In this guide, I'll walk you through each step of the tire changing process. We'll start with the basics, and work our way through to the more detailed steps. By the end of this guide, you'll have all the knowledge you need to change a tire safely and efficiently. In this guide, I'll show you exactly how to change a car tire, step by step. We'll cover everything from the tools you'll need to the safety precautions you should take. I'll explain each step in detail so you can follow along easily. Whether you're a complete beginner or just need a refresher, this guide is for you. From safety precautions to tightening the last lug nut, I'll be with you every step of the way. Safety is paramount, so we'll start by making sure you know how to stay safe while changing a tire. Then, we'll move on to the actual process of changing the tire, from loosening the lug nuts to lifting the car with a jack, and finally, putting the new tire on and tightening everything up. We'll cover all the basics, so even if you've never changed a tire before, you'll be a pro in no time. I'll share some tips and tricks that can make the process even easier, and remember, practice makes perfect. The more you do it, the more confident you'll become. So don't be afraid to get your hands dirty and give it a try. So let's get started and get you back on the road. With this guide, you'll be prepared for any flat tire situation that comes your way. You'll have the skills and confidence to handle it quickly and safely, so you can get back to enjoying your drive. Let's dive in and learn how to change a tire. Before you jump into changing the tire, safety comes first. Find a flat, stable surface to park your car. This will prevent your car from rolling while you're working. Believe me, you don't want your car moving when you're under it. Next, make sure your car is visible to other drivers. Turn on your hazard lights. This warns other drivers to give you space. Remember, safety is key to a successful tire change. Your car has a handy toolbox for a reason. Let's see what's inside. You'll need a jack to lift your car, a lug wrench to loosen and tighten the lug nuts, and of course, a spare tire. Make sure your spare tire is properly inflated before you head out. There's nothing worse than a flat spare when you need it most. It's a good idea to familiarize yourself with these tools before you need them. Now let's get those lug nuts moving. But before you lift the car, you need to loosen the lug nuts while the tire is still on the ground. This gives you more leverage. Use the lug wrench and turn it counterclockwise. You might need some muscle here, but don't worry, you got this. Remember, lefty-loosey, righty-tighty, don't remove the lug nuts completely yet, just loosen them. Section 5. Jack it up. Lifting your car safely. Lifting your car safely is a crucial skill for any car owner. Whether you're changing a flat tire or performing routine maintenance, knowing how to properly use a car jack can save you time and ensure your safety. Now it's time to lift the car. Before you begin, make sure your car is on a flat, stable surface. Avoid soft ground or inclines, as these can cause the jack to slip or the car to become unstable. Always engage the parking brake and place wheel chocks behind the wheels that will remain on the ground to prevent any movement. Locate the jack point, which is usually a reinforced area underneath the car frame near the flat tire. These points are specifically designed to handle the weight of the car when lifted. Using the wrong spot can damage your car or cause the jack to fail. Consult your car's manual if you're unsure. The manual will provide detailed instructions and diagrams showing the exact locations of the jack points. This step is essential, especially if you're unfamiliar with your vehicle's design. Position the jack under the jack point and slowly crank the jack handle clockwise to raise the car. Take your time and ensure the jack is lifting the car evenly. If you notice any tilting or instability, lower the car and reposition the jack. Lift the car high enough to give you ample space to remove the flat tire and install the spare. Typically, you'll need to raise the car about 6 inches off the ground, but this can vary depending on your vehicle and the type of jack you're using. Always double-check that the car is stable before proceeding with any work underneath it. Safety should always be your top priority. Section 6. Out with the old. Removing the flat tire. With the car lifted, you can now remove the lug nuts completely. Carefully remove them one by one and keep them in a safe place, like the hubcap. Once the lug nuts are off, grab the flat tire with both hands and pull it straight towards you to remove it from the hub. You might need to wiggle it a bit if it's stuck. Section 7. In with the new mounting the spare tire. Now let's put that spare tire to use. First, make sure you have all the necessary tools at hand. You'll need a lug wrench, a jack, and of course, the spare tire itself. It's always a good idea to check the spare tire's pressure before mounting it. A properly inflated tire ensures a safer and smoother ride. Align the spare tire with the wheel studs and push it gently onto the hub. This step is crucial for ensuring that the tire sits correctly and securely. Take your time to make sure the holes in the wheel line up perfectly with the studs. If the alignment is off, the tire won't sit properly, which can lead to issues down the road. You might need to lift the tire slightly to get it properly aligned. This can be a bit tricky, especially if the tire is heavy. Use your legs to lift, not your back, to avoid any strain or injury. If you're having trouble, don't hesitate to ask for help. It's better to be safe and get assistance than to risk hurting yourself. Once the spare is in place, put the lug nuts back on by hand. Start by threading them onto the studs. This helps to ensure that they go on straight and don't cross-thread. Cross-threading can damage the studs and make it difficult to remove the lug nuts later. Hand tightening also allows you to feel if something isn't quite right. Screw them on clockwise until they're snug. Use the lug wrench to give them a few turns, but don't over-tighten them just yet. The goal is to secure the tire enough so that it stays in place while you lower the car. Over-tightening at this stage can make it difficult to properly torque the lug nuts later. Don't tighten them completely yet. We'll do that once the car is back on the ground. Lowering the car allows the tire to sit flat on the ground, which helps in achieving the correct torque. Once the car is on the ground, you can use the lug wrench to fully tighten the lug nuts in a star pattern. This ensures even pressure and a secure fit. Section 8. Back on the ground, lowering your car. With the spare tire securely in place, it's time to lower the car. Use the jack to slowly lower the car until the spare tire touches the ground. Once the tire is touching the ground, you can now fully tighten the lug nuts. Use the lug wrench and tighten them in a star pattern. This ensures even pressure on the wheel. Section 9. Final touches. Tightening and checking. Give the lug nuts one final check to make sure they are tight. Don't forget to lower the jack completely and remove it from under the car. Put the flat tire, lug wrench, and jack back in their designated spots in your car. And finally, don't forget to check the tire pressure of your spare tire and inflate it to the recommended pressure.